this morning on a beautiful sunny day, looking back at Trafalgar Square, and there's our buddy Lord Nelson. We're on Whitehall. A Field Marshal, His Royal Highness George, Duke of Cambridge. Here we have the Horse Guards. At 4 o'clock they'll come out on their horses, and there is a museum, but we don't have time for it this morning. Whitehall Palace had been the main residence of the royal family in London from the reign of Henry VIII to 1698. The banqueting house is all that's left of the palace after a huge fire caused by a maid drying linens too close to a fire, which was common, but she left it unattended. Whoops. It is the grandest and best-known survivor of the architectural genre of banqueting houses, constructed for elaborate entertaining. Peter Paul Rubens, a Flemish artist, designed and painted the banqueting house ceiling. The subject, commissioned by King James II, was the glorification of his father, James I, and was completed in 1634. It's just a beautiful old building. Aha! This once was the old War Office building, known today as the OWO. It was once home to Sir Winston Churchill, among others. Ian Fleming, creator of James Bond, was a regular here, and many scenes from the 007 movies were filmed here. In 2003, it reopened as the 5-star Raffles Hotel London, remodeled at a cost of over $1.7 billion. This is Earl Haig, I think it is, famous for World War I successes. This man, Field Marshal Viscount Slim, was the Governor General and Commander-in-Chief in Australia during World War II. He's in Burma. He's out in the middle of the road here on Whitehall and is recognizing the contribution of the women in World War II. This is Field Marshal the Viscount Alan Brooke, Master of Strategy, World War II. This is Field Marshal Montgomery, recognizable by his hat. Field Marshal Viscount Montgomery of Alamein. He lived 1887 to 1976. Prime Minister was down there, that's Downing Street. And this guy was going to get in, and all of those guards evidently didn't like his credentials, and he didn't get in. Used to be you could walk down that street. It's a big, beautiful building. I guess that's kind of Art Deco on the sides. Some statues up there. Here's a bird's eye view. They lead the UK's diplomatic, development, and consular work around the world. Certainly have a large facility to do all that work. This is the cenotaph honoring the glorious dead. Built commemorating the dead of World War I, and they come out and give remembrances every year on Memorial Day, known as Remembrance Sunday. It's a cenotaph. It's in honor of the soldiers that died, and none are buried there. In 1946, it was rededicated to include those who died in World War II, and has since come to represent the Commonwealth casualties from those and subsequent conflicts around the world. Recently been refurbished, and this is the Elizabeth Tower, Elizabeth II Tower, and bell is Big Ben. The city of Westminster, and this is Parliament Square, and here on the corner is a statue of Winston Churchill, and the towers up there is Westminster Abbey. We'll see who else is out here in this square. There's about 50 million school kids and other tourists. We have David Lloyd George, who was Prime Minister, maybe 1900s. She campaigned for women's suffrage by legal change and led Britain's largest women's rights association. This one I know, this is Mahatma Gandhi. Nelson Mandela. And these nice kids were sitting in front of the name, and they moved so we could take a picture. Very thoughtful. Shot of Queen Elizabeth II Tower. You can see the renovation a little better. And in the distance, we can see the London Eye that's on the other side of the Thames. Nifty statues and stuff on this building. Margaret's church, and I don't know how to read that clock, but oh well. Margaret was founded in the 12th century by Benedictine monks, so people who lived near the abbey could worship at their own simpler parish church. It was rebuilt under direction of King Henry VII. The church, which largely still stands today, was completed in 1523. And here's the altar. And another stained glass window. Window can be described as ill-timed. Created around 1526, it celebrates the marriage of Henry VIII to Catherine of Aragon. By the time it was finished, Henry had become infatuated with Anne Boleyn. Henry is shown at the bottom left and Catherine on the bottom right. 19th century window commemorates the 17th century English poet John Milton. My guess is that these windows survived the Blitz and above didn't. And then way at the top there's some more that survived. To the glory of God and the memory of Colonel Robert Blake, Admiral at Sea, died 1657, ejected from his grave in the Abbey and buried in St. Margaret's Church in 1661. This is in memory of some man who fought at the Battle of Trafalgar. This window is in memory of Robert Blake, Admiral and General of the Fleet, who wrought great victories for England at sea and maintained the honor of the nation. One who desired no greater worldly happiness than to be accounted honest and faithful in his employment.